Okay, don't worry, I'm not talking about water polo or swimming or anything like that. But over the last 22 years, my dad has taught me a bunch of different lessons that have really stuck with me, taught me a lot. And one lesson that I can really think of that has really helped me get through a lot of difficult things was just four simple words. It was just easy, hard, hard, easy. Meaning that if I have an easy life now and kind of slack off and don't do my work, I'm just going to have a harder life later. But if I'll just work hard now and really try my best, then I'm going to have a pretty easy life later. So maybe about 2 years ago, my dad suggested that I start a savings account. And at first I was kind of like, I don't really want to do that because I was kind of like those commercials, where it's my money, I need it now. But after I started to look into it more and talk to my dad about it, I saw that I can potentially make a lot of money by doing this, so I'll start doing it. And that's why today I'm going to explain why I think it's a good idea for all college students to start a savings account for several different reasons. One being because it can help you learn how to manage your budget. It's good to save for, I assume most of us here want to transfer to a 4-year, and I know how expensive that is, so it's good to save for that. And as it looks right now, people our age aren't going to be getting Social Security checks when we retire. So it's good to start something. And then lastly, because of how much money you can potentially save over time by just putting a little bit of money into your account. So first, just because it can help you manage your budget. I know when I first started college, I had a job and I would get my paycheck and go out and spend it right away, and then I would not even worry about what's in my bank account. I would just spend until eventually I ran out of money and I had to go ask my parents for money. But so that's when my dad suggested I start a savings account. But then in an article written by William Baldwin, he said that it is a good idea, instead of giving your kids small allowances for candy or movies, give them larger ones to pay for clothes or transportation, to teach them more about buyer's remorse or how to manage their budget. He actually went on to quote a family wealth advisor her name is Deborah Cox. She said that if you send a financially sheltered kid off to college, then by April of their freshman year, you'll probably get a phone call saying, hey, I'm out of money. Kind of like what happened to me. I was kind of like, hey, I need more money. I have no money to spend. I have nothing for food or gas. So that's like my dad's like, okay, you start a savings account, and then you can see like, okay, I have this much money for this month. I'm putting this much in my account. And I can buy this, but I can't buy this because I'll need it for gas or whatever. My next reason is because I assume most people here want to transfer to a 4-year. I was actually planning on transferring applying for next fall, but then I started looking at the prices for a 4-year, and like they're ridiculously high. Like I could not afford that right now. So I talked to my counselor, and she's like, hey, it's okay. You can just there's still some more classes here. You can take at the cheaper prices that'll count for your major. So I'm just going to do that until I can actually afford to go to a 4-year. And in an article that I found written by Bob Shufflecock, and with a name like that, you must be pretty smart. He said in an article called "College is Going to Cost How Much?" He said that with tuition fees, room and board zooming up to $20,000 a year at public universities and $26,000 a year at private universities, families are in disbelief. Kind of like what happened to me. I was like, started looking at the prices, and I was like, there's no way I can afford this right now. So I'll just wait until I can afford it, or until I know that by the time I'm done with if I have to get a loan for going to college, I'll be able to pay it off through my savings account. I'll just take it out and pay it off right away, because I know my brother, he graduated like 4 years ago, and he's still getting phone calls from the bank saying, hey, you owe us $80,000, and he's like, I can't pay that right now, so stop calling me. And he gets mad every time they call him. And if he would have started a savings account, he would have been able to pay that off probably by now. And another reason why I think it's a great idea is because right now it looks like people our age are not going to be getting Social Security checks when we retire. And in an article written by John David, who is actually one of the 5 experts in Washington right now, he's debating with the government, telling them how we need to fix Social Security for the younger generations. He said that as millions of baby boomers are approaching retirement age, the program's annual cash surplus will shrink and then disappear. And then Social Security will not be able to pay full benefits from its payroll. And then in a blog page I found, written by Ruth J.D., she said that three-fourths of those people ages 18 to 34 are not expecting to get retirement Social Security checks when they retire. So if people like us, our age, are not expecting to get Social Security when we retire, I think that's just right there is a great reason for us to start saving right now. Because then you're basically going to start planning for when you retire. You'll have money for your grandkids or whatever you need it after you are done working. And I personally can't wait to buy my grandkids whatever they want with the money that I've saved up over time. And lastly, because if you start investing right now, just like at $100 a month, right now interest returns aren't really that good. So you get probably about 1% return. But even with that 1%, if you do $100 a month, and you wait and you don't touch it, maybe just for emergencies like you want to pay off your loans or you don't touch your money. And in 40 years, about when you retire, you'll have about $64,000 just for $100 a month. And I know most of you right now, you probably waste $100 a month anyways. I know before I started putting money away, I would waste money easily. But now I'm so used to not having the money that I took in my savings account. I don't even think about it anymore. It's like on automatic pay straight into the account. So just that 1%, you'd have about $64,000. But in a few years, maybe times get a little better. Maybe you'll get up to about 5% interest return. With that, just $100 a month, you'll have about $180,000 in 40 years. That's like a lot of money, I think. We're just putting a little bit of money now. But if you can get into the stock market and get about a 10% return, for just $100 a month, you have about $850,000. Maybe I know I'm planning on doing this when I get out of college. I'll have a good job, have a family, be able to support them. Then I'll start probably putting $500 a month. If you do that, $500 a month, about at 10% or whatever percent you can get, you can have about $3.1 million when you retire. Just for that little bit amount of money a month, and just set it aside, and it'll work for you. And so then when you retire, you'll be millionaires. Okay, come on. So in conclusion, I would say that starting a savings account when you're in college is a great idea for a lot of reasons. One, because it can help you learn how to manage your budget. It's good to start saving for a 4-year, like my brother wish he did probably, because he doesn't like those phone calls. And it's good to have basically make your own Social Security check when you retire. And lastly, because you can potentially be a multi-millionaire in about 40 years, just by putting just a little amount of money in an account every month. Thank you.
All right, Rachel, what did you think?
I thought it was really good. You had a good introduction, and you set up your speech really well in the introduction. And each of your points, you cited a source, which really helped with the persuasion, especially at the end. What persuaded me was when you told us how much money we'd be making